Shawnee Chasser has been living outside in Miami for the better part of 2 decades, but unfortunately the Miami-Dade County officials are looking to end that if she doesn't start getting her house up to code. I don't know why this story makes me so sad that
get her house in order.
She doesn't get her house up to code. So, quote, this barefoot hippie is living in what they are saying is substandard construction and improperly running electricity. And the Miami-Dade County officials have gone on record saying that plumbing on a property present a hazard not just to those on the property, but also to neighbors. Miss Chasser's daughter has started a GoFundMe that has reached about $2,000, and this is hopefully going to cover the close to $30,000 in fines that she has now been cited to pay, or her house is going to be torn down.
And on top of that, it's $100,000 in total to do all the reconstruction.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
She estimates that it's going to be around $100,000 to bring her house up to code. But with the GoFundMe catching on a little bit online, Miss Chasser says, quote, "This is the first time in a year I feel hopeful and happy. This site is about everybody who is not allowed to do what they want on their own property." So let's go to a graphic that shows a little bit about what this treehouse looks like. And I also found a couple YouTube videos of where she's living, and it's a beautiful oasis. She actually used to.
Oasis.
This is her daughter, right?
It's a beautiful living sanctuary-ish type place. Yes.
That's making it a beautiful place.
And I have seen some YouTube videos. She has her own organic popcorn company that she sells, and there have been some videos of the property. She used to actually rent it out on Airbnb to mostly positive reviews, although there was one review saying that they got fleas from staying there.
What she said was mosquitoes.
Now, given that her house or her property or whatever is no longer up to code, they cannot rent out this facility on Airbnb, which is totally understandable. And so given that she doesn't have that extra form of income on top of her popcorn business, Ms. Chasser says that she is still researching her legal options and hadn't formally responded to the county's demolition order yet. She's also looking to obtain a medical diagnosis showing that she is claustrophobic and unable to live indoors, which she thinks might help her case. So I want to get a reaction from you guys because, as you could probably tell from my introduction, I am sympathetic to her because I think you should be able to live however you want to live. She's not hurting anybody, and at least she's not renting it out anymore to Airbnb people, and there's a GoFundMe going on. What's the harm, right?
Right, absolutely. I mean, I think that if people are going to say you have a problem, excuse me, be a part of the solution, right? If she has $30,000 in fines, which she's paid $10,000 already, and then the GoFundMe is raising $2,000, but overall it'll cost $100,000 to fix it. The state, Miami-Dade County, Florida, whomever should be like, okay, well, we want you to do this. Let us give you some assistance. Now, as far as her, I do think, though, if
Isn't that a little unfair to the thousands of homeless people currently living in Miami-Dade County, though? If Miami-Dade is just like, yeah, we're just going to take some of the funds out from something else, like that could help our crumbling infrastructure, for example, to help one individual's treehouse go up the code, just because it became public knowledge.
So you think it should be her responsibility to raise the funds, but do you think that Miami-Dade should have intervened at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's a reason why. Okay, first of all, there's two sides to this, right? Let me just start off by making fun of the other person who called the county and said that, oh, like, I'm really annoyed by this person and it's unsafe. You guys should go check out that treehouse. That guy sucks. Okay, that neighbor is horrible. But having said that, there are some different things that I saw within her rhetoric that led me to believe that this is a very industrious woman, and she definitely knows what she's doing as far as going out and even mentioning that she might get a claustrophobia medical diagnosis so it'll help her cause. That seems like something I would do. You know what I mean?
Like all the stops.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like this isn't a helpless woman is what I'm saying. Like the way she's presenting herself or the way this article is presenting her, she definitely is capable. She's very capable, she's very smart and knows what she's doing as far as trying to game the system a little bit. Now, having said that, though, obviously it's horrible to destroy someone's home, especially one that you've been living in for so long and you have this attachment to, especially if you're genuinely claustrophobic. And
well, given that she's been living outdoors for the better part of 20 years, she's going to have a pretty easy time making a case for being claustrophobic.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, let's not think that she is a helpless victim here. And if she can crowdfund it, and there are plenty of people out there that will willingly give money to this person, I know for a fact, because stupider things than this have been funded before. This is a more honorable cause in that sense. Then that's great. And hopefully she'll do something with it and not just use it to get her treehouse up to code so she can still continue to make more money for her Airbnb.
Right. So in theory, ethically, I think we all sort of agree that people should live how they want to live as long as it's not harming anyone. But I want to ask you guys about what Miami-Dade County is saying about the living conditions, because something stuck out to me when they're saying about the improperly running electricity and plumbing on a property that present a hazard to the neighbors.
Yeah.
And I would have to agree with that. Do you think that they do have causality to tear this down if she doesn't get her plumbing up to date?
Absolutely, because I mean, when you have brown waste spilling everywhere, that could be disease. I mean, there's no question about that. Yes, I mean
contaminating water
for
supplies.
Sure. And then,
like, there's a reason why these codes are set in place for a specific reason. They're not just doing it to collect revenue like some anti-government people would think.
It does make you think a little bit about, we were joking before about the neighbor who called in this complaint. There could be a major smell factor.
That's what
we have.
Or electricity is very dangerous. You can't just willy-nilly steal electricity from other people or other sources in an improper way. That needs to be handled according to code. And if it's a treehouse, I'm assuming it's probably very flammable on top of all of that. That's devastating for the entire neighborhood, because the entire neighborhood could catch on fire.
Also, it's a liability for people that are staying there, because if it's in a tree and it's not really, a tree's not really meant to have a house on it, you know, and so
tell that to 14-year-old Hassan.
But you're right.
Tell that to Calvin and Hobbes.
Peter Pan. What I was saying is that, but people that are staying here also pose the risk of falling out of the treehouse and death and, you know, other physical tragedies that could happen. So what I want to know, and every time I read this story, I've read the story like 5 times in the last hour, is if there's not proper running water, like how does she poop?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like how does that work?
Yeah,
I've always wondered that.
I think the way that this story broke down for me personally was that at first read, I'm like, let her live, let her do what she wants to do. But then when you really look into the logistics of the housing, I understand why this would be a concern for the county and why they would want to at least bring her facility, her house, her living situation up to code. And even if that is expensive, it at least do the bare minimum. You know, and I agree with you, Hassan. I think that she's going to have no problem getting a lot of people behind her on a GoFundMe, and I'm sure that this is going to be popping up on my Airbnb searches in no time, because I am a big fan of Airbnb.
Treehouses.
And camping outdoors.
With mosquitoes in Miami.
Had enough. It's gonna stop.
No, it's not. There's even more if you're a Young Turks member. Join us at tytnetwork.com/join.